What's in my kitchen today? A simple plain cake. Stay tuned for more. In order to achieve perfection with cakes, all ingredients must be weighed. The proper amounts are listed in the description box. Here I have butter that has been sitting out on the counter for 1 hour, as well as the eggs have been sitting out to make sure they are at room temperature and that they will mix properly with the other ingredients. Here I am using some shortening with some wax paper, and I'm putting it in every crevice of the cake pan to ensure that it is properly coated. As you can imagine, if this is not done properly, the cake will not release from the pan when it's finished baking. After I coat it with the shortening, I am using some flour to go over the areas that I have just coated. I'm turning the pan around, shaking the flour in order to ensure that every area of the cake pan is coated. Not shown here, I am preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I am mixing the dry ingredients. It is very important to mix the dry ingredients before adding them into the batter, because you want the cake to rise evenly. If this was a larger cake, I would probably be sifting it, but for about 2 cups of flour, it is sufficient to just whisk a couple times to aerate the dry ingredients and combine them. Now it's time to get started. So I'm going to whisk the butter and the sugar together. What we are actually doing is whipping air into the butter and sugar while they're being combined to make it light and fluffy. What we are looking for is for the color of the batter to change from yellow to a very pale cream. In between, I am scraping down the sides of the bowl to ensure that everything is properly combined. This is the color we are looking for. So it's time to add the eggs. I add the eggs one at a time, scraping down the bowl in between. If you are adding any other flavorings, such as orange peel or spices, this is the time to add them. To finish off the cake, we are going to add the dry ingredients in thirds, alternating with the liquid. Traditionally, we are taught to do this part by hand. However, I have found that using the mixer at a very low speed produces an excellent cake texture. Here I am scraping down the bowl intermittently. And this is the final batter. This is just for you to see the consistency of the batter. Normally, I would pour it in the cake pan in one go. However, because I'm using the bundt pan, I have to tread carefully. I smooth everything down and put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. This particular time, it took me 33 minutes, but you should check the cake after about 25 minutes. To test to see if the cake is done, you can stick it with a skewer or you can press lightly and see if it springs back. Once the cake is cool enough for you to handle by hand, it's time to take it out of the pan. Just flip. And your cake awaits you. If you don't know how to make icing, have no fear. You can just dust with powdered sugar. This shot is to show you the texture. And this is just a pretty picture. If you think you can now make a simple plain cake, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.